What if I told you that the greatest threats to human existence aren't war, not nuclear weapons, not artificial intelligence, not even disease? What if the real threat is Earth itself? We tell ourselves we are the dominant species, that we have tamed nature, controlled it, bent it to our will. But history tells a different story. Because every time we grow too powerful, too arrogant, too destructive, something happens. Something that reminds us who really runs this planet. A flood, a wildfire, a famine, or a volcanic eruption so massive it nearly wiped civilization off the map. This isn't a myth. It isn't a theory. It happened. 1815, Indonesia. Mount Tambora erupts. It was the single most violent volcanic explosion in recorded history. It erased entire civilizations. It plunged the world into darkness. For humans, it was hell on Earth. But for the planet, it was a fresh start. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what Earth does when we become too much. April 10th, 1815. A sound so loud it is heard over 2,000 kilometers away. A column of fire and ash erupts into the sky. For the people near Tambora, there was no warning. One moment, the sky was clear. The next, it was gone. The ground trembled violently as fire and smoke burst from the mountain's core. Houses reduced to rubble. Forests consumed in flames. Animals vanished in the chaos. A wall of scorching ash rushed down, devouring everything in its path. Those who ran couldn't outrun it. Those who stayed never stood a chance. The air itself became a weapon, thick with heat and choking fumes. There was no escape. Within hours, entire villages were buried under a sea of ash. The world they had known was gone. But this was only the beginning. Because what Tambora unleashed wasn't just destruction. It was a chain reaction, a domino effect so vast it would shake the entire world. And what came next was worse than the blast. The ash didn't just bury villages. It rose into the stratosphere, spreading across the globe, blocking out the sun. The world was plunged into an unnatural darkness. Temperatures plummeted. Crops withered. It became known as the year without a summer. No warmth, no harvest, no hope. In North America, People woke up to frost-covered fields in June. In Europe, rivers turned to solid ice. In China, floods and droughts destroyed entire communities. This wasn't a normal winter. This was a planetary deep freeze. Cattle died standing. Lakes froze overnight. In Ireland, thousands starved to death. In Switzerland, the crops never came. People ate tree bark, stray animals, anything to survive. Humanity was on the brink. But while we were dying, something else was coming back to life. As humans struggled, nature thrived. Forests regrew. The air became cleaner than it had been in centuries. Wildlife exploded in numbers. And then, something even more disturbing. The volcanic ash, the same substance that choked people to death, the same dust that buried entire civilizations, wasn't just destruction. It was fertilizer. The land that had been burned, scorched beyond recognition, it became some of the richest, most fertile soil on Earth. Mount Tambora hadn't just killed, it had renewed. It's almost as if the planet had to erase us to fix itself. So tell me, was this really a disaster? Or was it Earth fixing what we broke? This isn't the first time. Every time humans step back, the world recovers. And history proves it again and again. The Black Death, 1347 to 1351. It wiped out half of Europe. We called it a tragedy. But abandoned land turned to forests. Carbon levels dropped, and the planet thrived. The Great Hurricane of 1780. It obliterated entire Caribbean islands. We saw nothing but destruction. But the storm rebalanced ecosystems, reefs grew back stronger, and nature reclaimed the coastlines. The Indian Ocean tsunami, 2004. It swallowed entire cities in minutes. The loss was unimaginable, but in the aftermath, damaged coral reefs regenerated, marine life surged, and shorelines rebuilt themselves. See the pattern. Every time humans disappear, Earth doesn't just recover, it gets stronger. So maybe we're looking at disasters the wrong way. Maybe they aren't punishments. Maybe they're corrections. Maybe every time we push too far, burn too much, take too much, Earth fights back. What if Earth is trying to tell us something? Look around. The Amazon is burning. Coastal cities are sinking. Storms are getting stronger. And every time we ignore the warning signs, nature fights back. But history tells us how this ends. The planet won't ask nicely. It never does. When balance is broken, Earth resets. And when that happens, we won't be the ones rebuilding. We'll be the ones buried. So maybe the real question isn't, how do we save the planet? Maybe it's, how long before the planet decides to save itself from us?